All together now. Shoot them dead, my lord.
Yeah, okay, we got it. Thanks a lot, Mr. Levin. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that passes for radio, for news in America. And this is the kind of stuff that Anders Breivik was consuming. Not necessarily the radio part of who knows, I mean, what he was listening to. But certainly, you know, the written stuff. Frank Gaffney, Center for Security Policy. Pamela Geller. Robert Spencer. Daniel Pipes. His manifesto was full of quotes from American right-wingers. Meanwhile, John Boehner last night. What did we get for that spending binge? He's talking about Obama's presidency. A massive health care bill that most Americans never asked for. Well, actually, Americans wanted some change in our health care system. This didn't go far enough, but it does save some money, and it does give everybody health insurance. A stimulus bill was more effective in producing material for late-night comedians than it was in producing jobs. No, actually, it took us from losing 800,000 jobs a month to gaining 20, 30, 40,000. And a national debt so out of hand, it has sparked a crisis without precedent in my lifetime or yours. Well, actually, the national debt did not create a crisis. There is no crisis around the national debt. If there was a crisis around the national debt, we would be paying 10 or 12% or 15 or 20% on our treasury bills in order to get people to buy them like Greece is doing. Instead, we're paying 2%. There is no crisis around the debt, period. It is a lie. It is a phony manufactured crisis by the Republican Party in order to blackmail the President of the United States and Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi into going along with cuts in social programs, which will further harm the economy before the election. Don't you get it? The game plan here in Norway, the guy's game plan was kill as many people in the Labor Party as possible. To smash the government. It was Reaganomics on steroids taken into the realm of insanity. Here, it's kill the economy, as much of the economy as possible. Oh, and by cutting Medicare, we're actually going to kill a few Americans. Now, I know that there's going to be some right-winger someplace who's going to say, oh, Hartmann is accusing John Boehner and the Republicans of wanting to murder Americans. Yes, quote me. When you cut Medicare, when you cut Medicaid, when you cut services to children who 1 in 7 children in America living on food stamps at some point in the last year, when you cut services to people in poverty, people do die. The BBC did just this spectacular piece. This was a couple of years ago. The headline, More Suicides Under Conservative Rule. 18 September 2002, BBC News World Edition. The suicide rates increase under conservative governments, research suggests. The suicide rate in the country increased significantly whenever a conservative government was in power. They looked at the years from 1901 to 1998. They took into account periods of drought in World War II. After adjusting for these factors, I'm quoting from the BBC, the figures clearly show that the highest rates of suicide occurred when both conservative state and federal governments were in power. Middle-aged and older people were most at risk. When the conservatives ruled both state and federal governments, men were 17% more likely to commit suicide than when Labor, the liberals, were in power. Women were 40% more likely to kill themselves. This was published in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health. And the final paragraph in the BBC story, overall, they say the figures suggest that 35,000 people would not have died had the conservatives not been in power between 1901 and 1998. And what you're watching right now is a naked power grab by the Republicans. They are manufacturing a crisis where none exists. In fact, there are 2 crises that are being manufactured. The first is post 9/11. Oh, we need to get all those Muslims. Osama bin Laden had maybe 5,000 hardcore followers. But that was enough as an excuse for George Bush to invade a country that had nothing to do with 9/11. And now probably over 1 million people are dead. Certainly over 5 or 6 million are displaced and very upset about it. People all over the world looking at us, torture, rendition, waterboarding, people dying during torture. People whose friends and family have been killed. We're continuing it now with the drone attacks in Pakistan and Syria and Libya, and on it goes. And we wonder why they're upset. And then this guy in Norway goes, oh, look at this. The Muslims are upset. They must be trying to take over the world. Well, how does he know that? Well, because right-wingers in America are telling him that. And they're saying it on Fox News every night. So it's a two-prong attack, basically, on the Enlightenment, on small d democracies around the world. Starve the beast, the Reagan starve the beast. Let's cut programs to poor people in the United States. That's Boehner's and Mitch McConnell's plan, at least over the next year. So that unemployment will go up, the economy will be worse, and Obama will not get reelected. That, of course, is McConnell's number one job. And number two, scare the hell out of everybody by pointing to somebody. They used to always point to black people. Oh, they're going to send their kids to your school. That was 30, 40, 50 years ago. Now it's Muslims. Oh, they're going to blow something up. You know, Muslims account for 6% of terror incidents in the United States. Over 80% are Christians or people who were raised that way. But this guy in Norway didn't know that. He'd been paying attention to American right-wing media. It's all one thing.